the city.
And South Cambridgeshire.
The Cambridge Folk Festival.
Cambridge 105 Radio.
Welcome to day 4 at the Cambridge Folk Festival. I'm Linda Ness and this is Alex Elbro. We have been chatting to lots of people today and having a brilliant time. Fantastic bands here at the Folk Festival, hasn't there been, Alex?
It's been lovely, and what a lovely way to have Sunday, the final day of the festival too.
Yeah. So, first of all, I think we're ready to run with an interview that you and Les Ray did this morning. Tell us a little bit about it, Alex.
So, Andrew Byrne from the Northumbrian Pipe Workshop came along, and he gave us a little bit of an insight on how the Northumbrian pipes work.
Involved in running the Northumbrian Pipes Workshop. And good to see you, Andrew.
Hello, Les. Nice to see you. Yeah. Hi, Alex.
Yeah, it's lovely to see. Now, have you been running these all weekend? I think you have, haven't you?
We do two. We do one on the Saturday morning in the Flower Garden and one on the Sunday morning. We've been doing this for 12 years now, actually.
Excellent. I do have to hold my hands up there that I haven't been here that early, but I always think the workshops always sound so fascinating and such a lovely way to add to the festival, especially if you are camping on site.
No, it is great, and I mean this one's a bit different in that normal workshops you have on the Saturday workshop particularly, and we have for schools in Northumberland, Cambridge and Bar Hill just outside Cambridge.
Oh, that's a connection, isn't it?
Recommendation than Catherine Tickell playing your pipes. Yeah.
So workshop this morning. So what time today?
11:30. Yeah. Today's one's a little bit different. Some of them just want to hear more, so we play a bit.
Yeah.
I to give it a try. I can imagine it's a lot more complicated, I reckon, than it looks.
My sister-in-law plays the bagpipes, and my late father-in-law was a very, very good piper. But Northumbrian pipes, they look a little bit different to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the Northumbrian pipes, you are bellowing with your arms rather than having to blow. So I felt that felt like a little bit easier, but maybe they would disagree on that one.
So, I see, so you don't blow at all. I haven't actually seen them in action.
No, well, you'll have to.
I should have gone to the workshop, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll plan that for next year. So up next, who did you have, Alex?
Well, we were really lucky that we had local singer-songwriter Luke James Williams here, and he just released his album last Friday, and we were really lucky to speak to him today with Les Ray, being wonderful reviews. You must be really pleased with that.
Yeah, I've been really, really, really chuffed. Obviously, you sit with an album for quite a while, and sort of because of the pandemic and things, it took an awful lot longer to record than I'd hoped or planned. And so when you sat with something for that long, you've thought about it a lot. If you're like me, overthink everything. And so it's been really nice to share it and know that people are enjoying it and connecting with the songs. Very
much so. Now, you've been gigging quite a lot recently, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely sort of getting back to it. It feels like the ball's starting to roll again, which is really nice. And yeah, and I've booked some sort of my first run of headline gigs for the autumn, which is the first time that I've sort of headlined gigs on my own. I've always sort of done supports or sort of equal billing and things like that. So it was the first time to get out and play a slightly longer set in support of the album.
And have you got many of those? There's some around here, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there's about 9 dates. I think 9 or 10. Yeah. Thursday the 20th of October is the most local.
Remember that.
That's becoming quite a venue now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I actually got down there for the first time, and it's lovely. It's taken me
really
took me a long time, but yeah, I went and saw Dan Wilde play there the other week, and obviously he's a fantastic singer-songwriter, and it's a really lovely venue. Really nice.
You like you say that you're not the first person to have mentioned Tall Trees this year, and I'm really pleased that they've seemed to have got a venue, and they're really committed to live music there.
Yeah, well,
great,
I mean, John is the guy that's running, that owns the venue and is running it. Is a fantastic singer-songwriter in his own right.
Interesting.
Incredible, absolutely amazing.
I did not know that,
when he first got in touch with me, he sent me he was like, "Oh, here, have a link to my stuff," kind of thing. And I checked it out, and I was like, absolutely floored. I was like, wow, and I think having that, I think someone that is a musician themselves, I think they're really trying to create a really nice community for artists, so I was really blown away actually. So I'm really looking forward to playing there.
Now you mentioned there about doing some. That was Luke James Williams there, and it's great that he supported Tom Robinson recently.
That's amazing. That is some gig to get, actually, isn't it?
yeah.
Tom Robinson. Love Tom Robinson.
Yeah, so next up we have a local, we like to call her local singer-songwriter, Annie Dresner, originally from New York but now counts Cambridge as her home. And she managed to pull in a couple of other musicians from Shadowdown to play with her. Call her. Annie Dresner is here. Hi, Annie.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm really well, and all the best for seeing you. We've just been reminded by Robin the Van that the last time we saw you was in my garden for our folk at home in during lockdown, or sort of semi-lockdown, in the summer that we couldn't do the folk festival.
That's right. And I remember
2020.
walking from my car to your house and thinking, who's singing? She's really good. And it was Ellie Dixon.
Yeah, and she's, exactly. We're very pleased about that.
Yes.
I will be holding that one when she's wherever she plays. But yes, it was a lovely afternoon, and in 2020 that was a really special time for us all. We were all a bit nervous. We all had to keep away from each other.
Yeah, I was especially nervous, I think.
Well, it was a weird time. Let's face it, it was a weird time. No one knew what we were up to, were we? So anyway, you're back now, and you've been at the folk festival kind of hanging out, but you've had some really great encounters, haven't you, because of that?
Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend, an interesting yet fun weekend. I ran into somebody who recommended that I go chat with Brian McNeil and try to see if I could play a song or two. So I wound up playing on stage 2 yesterday, and for 2 songs, one of which was with Phil Beer, who's incredibly kind and
From?
Oh, from Show of Hands. I was thinking, where is he from in England?
Oh, no. From the band, for people that may not know him individually.
Somewhere in the West Country.
So it was really fun. And then also I wound up running into the band Sparrow Down, Dom and Aidan, whom we all played a show together in London like 4 years ago or something like that.
And they're here this morning for you as well. So thank you for turning up.
For having us.
And so you're going to play a song together, and because you're going to be playing a bit later.
Yeah, so also I'm going to be playing in the club tent from 12:45 to 1 today, and both of Dom and Aidan are going to be joining me on a few songs there as well as here.
So what one are you going to play first?
Brooke.
That was Annie Dresner.
That looked fantastic. I loved that interview. I was actually listening to it on the radio as I drove here, and she just sounds fantastic. She's great.
She's very funny. She's got a very dry sense of humour, and she's given me some tips on going to New York as well, which is going to be very handy.
Yeah, I heard that as well. You're going to New York quite soon, aren't you?
Mid-September, so very much looking forward to that.
And she was giving you places to go and people to visit, so that's
and
fantastic.
places not to go as well.
And she's got a great voice as well. Fabulous voice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So next up we had a duo, Roswell, which was Zoe and Jazz, and they played with a ukulele I've not really seen before.
Lovely song.
Thank you very much.
That's really lovely. So that's one of your new ones, did you say?
That is as yet unrecorded and unreleased.
Right. Well,
Very
it's-
nice.
yes,
Very lovely.
Definitely
Sneak preview
shows
for
lots
the
of
debut
promise.
album potentially.
Oh,
wow.
even better.
Wow.
Now, I'm just noticing on your ukulele, you've got more strings than I normally
I was going
see.
to ask about
yeah, you
that.
seem to have
Yeah.
double strings. You seem to
Yeah.
have 8 rather than 4. Is that right?
That's exactly
Get
right.
me.
Yeah.
So
I
how
know.
is it
guitar
tuned?
Very
player.
good. Yeah.
Is it tuned like a normal ukulele, or is it?
It's tuned exactly the same. It's a Carla 8-string tenor ukulele. I actually
Right.
got it this month, my birthday, and I'm delighted with it. So I've just
Yeah.
been playing it constantly since.
Sounds great.
It's the same tuning.
Mm.
But
So I
the
thought for a
bottom
moment
2
it might be a
strings,
mandolin tuning, since
no,
you've got
no,
8
it's same
strings.
tuning, but the bottom 2 strings are there's octaves.
Sure.
Oh.
So it just gives a fuller sound.
Yes.
And it's
Sure.
got this really nice kind of ring to it, which I'm already in love with.
Yeah.
It sounds lovely.
Oh, good.
Now, do you always write together, or do you do solo projects and do Roswell together?
So Roswell's my main project, but Zoe, you're a soloist in your own right.
I split my time between Roswell and then doing some solo performances
I
as
thought
well. Yeah.
I was aware of that, and I was thinking, was that just by chance I'd seen that? But so you do
Yeah.
both.
And then there's the honeybees. The honeybees almost happened at the beginning of the festival.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but
Super
he
group.
wasn't able to become.
Yeah,
Amy
well,
Goddard
the-
did a
Yeah, the
solo.
Honeybees is, I form occasionally with Adette Michelle and Amy Goddard, and we actually formed at the Cambridge Folk Festival backstage at stage 2 for the Brian McNeil's festival session about 3 years ago, I think it was. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
nice, because Annie's
be.
just been talking about that. Annie Dresner was on earlier,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
was saying how she did it this year, yesterday. So it's lovely that those things come together here, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so how do you So that was Roswell, and very exciting. They're going to be writing for their debut album, which we hope will be out at some point, but they're not going to put a date on it to be keep themselves covered.
I think they're quite right as well. Never commit. Now, next up, we have The Honest Poet. I stumbled across him and we were looking at the programme for the Cambridge Folk Festival and started listening to his music. Absolutely loved it. So we thought, well, we need to get him along for an interview. So here
I went
is
to
The Honest Poet.
sleep at 12 o'clock, and then they started singing. I was like, do you know, I'm not even going to be able to get to sleep. So I just ended up walking out, going into the tent in the den, and then watched like this beautiful like duo called Bess Atwell.
Oh yes, yeah, Bess Atwell.
Yeah, Atwell.
I think so.
And stayed until the end, absolutely lush. And then there was like an open mic kind of after hours, so I ended up playing like a song then.
Yeah,
so
a lot of people gravitate there at the end of the evening. It's getting quite a reputation.
Yeah, it's really relaxed.
Hang out.
Yeah.
So I think the first, because the den has been going, I'm going to say, it's not as long as I remember, but it's probably 10 years or something, maybe even more. Who knows? But I think that after hours bit sort of got tacked on, and now it's become, like you said, a real tradition.
Yeah.
And it's really nice vibe like in there.
And someone actually said to me, "Aren't you staying for the bit afterwards?" And I was like, "Oh, I hadn't realised it was like actually now people are planning stuff to play there and going to it, which is great, but not perhaps if you're trying to camp there."
It gives like the artists that didn't actually get to play on any of the stages an opportunity to play and just like be like, "This is me."
Sure. Good thing. Yeah.
Now, going back to your music, you're on stage 2 at 20. Oh, where are we now? Stage 2 at 20 to 3 this afternoon.
20 to 3.
But you've been here all weekend. How are you finding it?
Well,
First time here?
Yeah. Well, I didn't realise it was Thursday that it started, so I came on Friday, thinking like, oh yeah, I'm here for the first day, and then people were like, oh yeah, we came on Thursday. It's like, okay.
Yeah, well,
I've missed that some.
in the past, the Thursday was just like a locals thing,
okay.
And again, it's sort of grown and grown, and people taking the 2 days off rather than.
nice.
And a lot of people came for just the day because it was really busy on Thursday.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And normally it just kind of builds up gradually, and then on Friday, most of the people who are arriving have arrived.
Yeah.
And we've been quite fortunate with weather as well.
Yeah.
It's only a bit of rain today, but that's refreshing.
No, I think we need that. No,
we do. We really do.
It's just like, oh God, thank you for this shower. Like.
So you say you came to get the kind of the vibe of the place, and how are you finding it?
Good, yeah. There's a lot of like diversity in terms of the music. I was just assuming that it was just gonna be like pure like folk and just sort of.
Yeah, and what is pure folk is the interesting
question.
Now,
like I seen a band yesterday called Elephant Sessions.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they was great. Like literally
amazing, aren't they?
Like it was like a.
And that was The Honest Poet, or Jamie, as he's known to his friends. We really enjoyed talk. Well, I was talking to him afterwards, but you were actually chatting to him.
It was
He's
lovely.
Great,
it was
isn't
really
he?
lovely, and a really interesting way of the music he produces as well. I think it's really good. A lot of mixture of spoken word and music, and a bit of R&B and hip hop and everything. So really interesting.
I think his songs tell really good stories as well. Really good chap.
So next up we have June Road. Now they're a relatively new duo, and we caught them after they'd just done a set at the Den.
Guests here.
We have.
Alex?
They are hot from the Den. You're probably literally hot from the Den, aren't you? Ran straight over here.
Clammy, yeah.
It's very nice to introduce June Road. Now, could you introduce yourselves? You are a duo, not a person called June Road.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. I'm Harry, and this is Maya. And together we are June Road.
So how did the set in the Den go?
It went really well, didn't it?
Yeah, very well.
Really warm crowd. They were listening to every word, which is
lovely.
A nice change sometimes.
I think the audiences here are kind of known for that. It's pretty good, but I think it's a bit different from when you're playing at the back of a pub. And people are kind of knocking into you with their pints or whatever as they go through, or shouting, "Do you want another one?"
Yeah,
or whatever
exactly.
as you're going across.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you played here before?
No, I've always wanted to actually. When Maya's not so clued up with this festival because she's Belgian. But it's been on my list for a while, so it's a pleasure to be here.
How did you two get together?
Oh, very romantic story.
Well, we like those.
I was supporting a prog band called Marillion in 2019, and
shouldn't be laughing.
I know. Well, it's kind of possibly an odd
Yes.
mix. But Maya was playing with her quartet with the band, and we met on stage at the Royal Albert Hall, and the rest is history.
That's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's a great
That's
story.
a good cute meet. Is it meet
yeah.
cute? Meet cute? Meet cute, I think it is, or cute meet. I can never remember.
I
Meet
have
cute.
no idea what you're talking about. but
Okay,
so-
it's, oh, never mind.
we now live over in Brussels. Well,
Oh.
in Maya's home city.
Lovely.
Oh, lovely. How did you come up with the name? June Road.
That was so random. I don't know. I was just walking and I thought June Road. I was on the road and it was June and I thought, oh.
Well, in fairness, we always go on big road trips in the summer, so it's kind of like June Road represents that, really.
Yeah.
If we want to.
And that was Harry and my June Road, and they were great fun as well. What a way to meet up, actually, on the stage of the Royal Albert Hall.
That is very cool, isn't it?
Supporting Marillion. That's not something that you'd forget in a hurry, is it? Where did you meet? That would be great, a great one to tell the grandchildren, should there ever be any grandchildren. And of course, me getting my meat cutes all mixed up with cute meats. But, you know, that's life. Next, we spoke to Catherine Priddy, who had just come off stage 1.
And our guest has arrived. It's Catherine Priddy, who's just come off stage 1.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yes.
How was the stage 1
It
experience?
was great. We were just saying how great all the crew were. It all felt very relaxed, very nice on stage, and the crowd were very happy. So it was a good experience.
Brilliant. And you were saying the last time you played here was in the Den in 2019.
Yeah, so a slight shift in terms of stage size.
Just a little.
But yeah, that was back in 2019, and then it's just been the long wait for Cambridge to happen again. So amazing to be on the main stage this time around. Yeah, huge jump.
So has a lot happened in your own life and your musical life in that time too?
Yeah, so I released my debut album in June last year, and things have kind of grown nicely since then. It's all been going really well, so I've been keeping busy, and Cambridge have remained very supportive throughout all of it, actually. So it's all been going really well.
And you're Birmingham based.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the folk scene like in that area?
It's really good. I mean, Birmingham has a fantastic music scene in general. It's got a really rich history of music. So there's lots of great venues, really lovely community, and we've got Moseley Folk Festival as well, which is a wonderful local festival, get some really big names in, some great venues like the Kitchen Garden Cafe, Hare and Hounds, and just a really nice folk scene in terms of bands who kind of support each other as well. It's quite close-knit, which is nice. Gigs nearly every night.
Out with them. Those that they are getting from people living now and creating
brought a banjo into school, and we just couldn't believe that there was someone just playing banjo. We all sort of started jamming together and ended up on the streets of Newcastle for a good few years. Cut a few years later.
Yeah, so we met in Niles, the fiddle player.
I am, yeah. I moved to the UK playing a lot since then.
Both write the
We do a lot of not yet. We do a lot of collaboration when it comes to. Often it'll be kind of song. We do a lot of arranging as a band. Chop the chords or the entire band.
So, and that was the Often Heard. They were great, and poor Sam had to stand outside of our enclosure here today. We didn't have one yesterday, but it's been a little bit showery, on and off, nothing too terrible, but just a slight smattering of rain occasionally, so we had to put a shelter. But Sam, with his great big double bass, had to stand up outside. But they were great, weren't they?
Yeah, and he just had to pop in when he had his chance to speak.
He did.
And it was interesting because they were such great musicians, all at a music college, but opposing ones. So a couple of them did the folk degree at Newcastle, and a couple did the folk degree at the Leeds Conservatoire. So there's a bit of rivalry going on there, but all good fun.
All good fun.
Next up, we have Billy Martin. She played on the stage 1 this afternoon, and it's the first time she's been here, and we had a really good chat with her. Feel out there.
Well, it was quite emotional. I did have a small tear in my eye because I have really spent my whole life watching footage of this festival, and my dad is the reason I play music, and we have such a fond love of basically everybody that's played this festival since '65. So we'd kind of listen and look back at the archive, and I remember really specifically watching Joan Armatrading's set, and she's got her wonderful what's it called, the headpiece mic,
like a head mic.
Yeah, she doesn't use a mic stand, which I have always loved because you don't really need to. And I thought, I looked at Dad and I went, I'd really like to do that, and he said, you will. And then we did it.
So you said you've grown up with a background of that. Were your parents musicians, or just they loved music?
On 105 FM and DAB in Cambridge.
And I'm Alex Albro.
And we're going to play out with one of the tracks that Roswell played this afternoon.
I'm tired of this race. Let's take the view and go down the Do I feel I'm under attack though? I worked harder than I should. I think I've earned my seat in the back row. 'Cause I know it's the same line. We're here all the time, here in the back row.